What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Thursday night Airbrush Down and Dirty Tricks. We are at 1 minute to go. Figured we just started out. How we doing, everyone? Hope everyone's having a good day. Had some good weather up here. It's been hot for a few days. It's been great. Hasn't been raining. Rained all last weekend, so it's good to have some good weather. Let's do a quick sound check. Let's see how we're doing. Make sure we're good to go. I think we got good sound on my end. Oops, hold on, let's see. Yeah, I think we got good sound. We know how the volume is. I can turn it up if we need to. Kelly Ross, what's going on? Brian Moore, Todd Keith, Ray Shea, thank you for that cup of coffee. I'll raise you a cup of coffee. Raise you some Buffalo Trace. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great week. All right, let's see. Good, yeah. And Kelly, what's we got in here? I think we got Todd Keith, Selena Studios, Air Todd, Brian Moore. Thank you for popping in. Yes, cheers for sure. All right. I hope we're all doing good. Yeah, camera lighting looks all right. I didn't set that. 5 minutes before, I mixed up my paint like an hour ago. And whenever I mix up the paint on these guys here, whenever I mix up the paint on this, I always take another because I have a couple of these. I put another one on top just to keep air, especially when it's really hot up here. We're at 80 degrees in the studio. So I didn't want it to dry out, so I just covered it up. And I picked the cover up, and the yellow, I had a big yellow, it popped up, went all over the floor. It was an absolute nightmare. So that was about 20 minutes ago. This wide shot, for you guys who haven't seen it before. So we got our colors mixed up. Same colors as last week. Let's go through our laundry list here. These are the paint colors we are using. I did add one color to the project. So the only thing I added, I kept the same as last week. The only thing I think I may use, because I wanted something a little bit more blue-greeny, the Detail Viridian. I added this color into the mix. I may even add a little like fluorescent blue or teal to it just to get a little bit of like glow effect. I'm not sure yet though. But this is the only color, aside from what's down there, I did add this just in case I wanted a little bit of different tone. All right, and while we got that, let's thank all our Down Dirty Tricksters, our lovely supporters. Everyone, thank you very much for all this. For those who aren't Down and Dirty Tricksters, you know you get 25% off McKay Fine Art and airbrushdowndirtytricks.com. And thank you all for being such long-time subscribers. Yeah, what are you sipping tonight? Mike Wagner, we have Buffalo Trace tonight is what I'm doing, is Buffalo Trace. And that's our reference image there. That's what we started with. And did the transfer, I did that whole little thing. Gary, what's going on? Gary Shees, Scorpio GLS, what's going on, man? We got Mike. Who else we got in here? Jonathan Parsons. Yeah, got everyone, I think. Just make sure I got everything. I think we're good. All right, so what did we do last week? What we did last week, I did a quick video recap. I wonder if I can, I'm about to try something. I don't know if I can do this. Let's see. I don't think this is going to work, but ooh, it does. Hold on. Nope. It stopped. I was going to try to play a quick little video. But nope. I guess it's not going to work. Huh. It worked for a second and then it didn't. Charlotte, what's going on? Huh. Oh well. Okay, I was gonna try to play the little recap video I did, but I don't have it. So anyway, let's get going. Let's talk about what we got. So we did here. We did our transfer sketch. We did all the loose work, and then we did the background. Got the little kind of magenta pink going, and purple. Let's get this guy out of here. It's kind of in the way. And we're ready to rock and roll. Now, what I did do, and Brian, and you guys who use a lot of water-based, if you use solvent too, same thing. But a lot of times when you're doing a lot of layering of different paints, especially in real fire, you do a lot of candies, it gets really chalky here. I've already wiped this down once, but like, see how you can hear it? It's smooth in here. It's a little chalkier. Okay. It was a lot chalkier earlier. So aside from a tack rag, which is always a good idea to do, and get all your overspray, which everything's already off this. If you still got a lot of like really heavy texture, I got one of these pump spray bottles. This is House of Color KC10 wax and grease remover. I think the Finish line or from Napa works really well as well. It's a solvent-based prep solvent. And it's perfect because A, it'll show you cleared. It will not reactivate the water-based paint. And I use a microfiber rag. And I really bear down hard. Okay? And I'm not getting any artwork paint off, but I am getting rid of that heavy overspray texture that might be there. And so, like, I did remove some. So it's a really good practice to do once in a while on your projects. You know, test out different brands. I use House Color because I have a lot of House Color, but I also get away with the just the Napa prep solvent. Just make sure it's a solvent-based prep solvent, not a water-based prep solvent. Okay? And that's going to get that heavy overspray off. No, I would not use 4-aught steel wool on artwork. You're going to scratch it. You're going to take too much off. Because steel wool still does remove material. Woodwork, it's fine. Like when we used to do some woodwork finishing and we want to kind of mat it out, we'd use like a little water oily mix with a 4-aught. I would not use that. I would just use a wax and grease remover and a microfiber. I would not use steel wool. You can try it. I personally wouldn't do it. Warlock, what's happening? Orthomer Artworks, Joe, what's going on? Thank you for popping in, guys. Oh, wow, the glossy clear makeup. Yeah. So, and that's the thing. The nice thing about using this is you can kind of see what it's going to look like cleared. You know what I mean? You know, it gives you that simulation. But if you were to use a water-based clear or isopropyl alcohol or this, it would rip the paint right off because it would reactivate it. Yeah, it'll work on canvas. I would do a test to make sure, because canvas, you have a cloth, you have a little rough texture, but it shouldn't matter. But yeah, I do this all the time. But see how much smoother that is now? I've used it on glass. Yeah, on glass is fine, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do it. Yes, bid. Yes, we still have a current bid from Scott Campos at $200 from last week. I'm not sure if he's in the house or not. Whoops. This is scrolling. Hold on. I gotta change something here. Help the framer. I tried a new light, and it's not liking this. So I'm going to shut this off. Ah, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let me just... One thing about lighting. One thing, like I'm using this LED light here. I want to get some more light on it. But one thing about lighting when you do with cameras, watch what happens. If I have it at full, it's fine. But if I dim it, it starts to it'll start to roll if I get in the wrong frequency. So I'm going to make sure we're good. Oh yeah, this camera doesn't do it, but watch this one. See that roll? Now if I go all the way up, it goes away. If I dim it, then you guys doing live streams, careful of your LED lights, because if they're not the right frequency of your camera or the shutter speed, you got to change your shutter speed, or just brighten it up. So I got that all worked out. There we go. All right. I want to get more light on this. Stephen Campos, hey, how's it going? We were just talking about you. Yep, you are still the high bid at 200. Let's get this started. Like I said, I did add in, for those just joining, for the color list. I'm going to do it one more time before I get going. So this was the color list we used. The jet black, opaque white, the opaque limelight green, Hansa yellow, opaque, dioxazine purple, illustration Berlin frog juice, moss green, and magenta. And then I've added in the detail Viridian just because I want something a little bit more greenish blue, just to kind of give that ghostly effect. But yeah, that's because of the pulsing of the honor. Yeah, exactly. So if your camera shutter speed is off from the pulsing of the LED, which is not a steady continuous light, you'll get that rolling effect. So if you ever get that, and that's why you see like YouTube videos of cars where the lights are flashing like this. It's because the camera's at a different rate than the LED lights. Here. All right. That's good. That's good. Let's do reference image. So this is what we got. That was the sketch we worked from. I'm not going to be using this too much more because pretty much got everything going where we want it. And so I'm just going to shut that down here. All right. Okay, good. Everything's good. All right. Housekeeping's done. Let's get rolling. Let's try the multi-shot a little bit. Let's go there. Go. Okay. So I'm going to brighten a few things up. How about some orange? There'll be a little orange in the eyes, actually. So we'll have a little bit of orange in there. Put flames. No flames, but I am going to have some smoky stuff going on. There'll be no flames with this guy. Come on. All right, I'm going to take my yellow. Just going to get a couple areas. Let's see. Got a couple areas really bright. You know, what I'm going to do is actually put a drop or two of white in this. It needs majesty. That is not a word. Majesty. Or majesty, sorry. Majesty. Oh, that's gonna stick. Yes, I know you're trying to be funny, but maybe if we had the proton packs around, you can have some flame. All right, add a little bit of white to that yellow, just to make things a little bit brighter. Let's get some bright highlights in here. Probably don't need too much right now. The teeth can afford to be a little whiter. The eyes. Just bringing up some scale. across the streams. Yeah, hot dogs and flying mustard would be cool. There's always so much I can get done. Maybe we'll try. Oh, so I do a hot. It's gonna look like a penis in there. More orange and hot pink, so it's fabulous. Because I can afford to bring the yellow up here because I'm going to be going some darker green. And I've lost a little bit contrast here. And I want to get some bright. See, I'm still working it pretty loose. And we can do some really big splats. And suggestion on foreshortening. Well, foreshortening in this is really, as far as the hand goes, you know, your hand's much bigger than the arm and the body almost because the hand's in the foreground. So, you know, it's popping out. That'd be a video on itself as far as drawing and design, but no stream crossing. Sorry, read multiple comments. Just knuckle up. Get these knuckles a little more defined. Yeah, I'm just trying to get things a little bit brighter. So, like foreshortening, let's get this hand brighter. Because obviously there'll be a lot. This will be darker because more in the background. I mean, when you're doing ghostly stuff, the whole darker, further kind of goes out the window because you can get away with almost anything because technically they're kind of emitting light, so you can really kind of play around with things. Okay, we'll do some more of those later. All right. All right, let's see. Let's get let's start going. Brian Keller 8894, welcome. All right, let's start kind of darkening some things up. Before we go too nuts, I'm going to bring in the Berlin Frog juice here. And let's start tinting a few things, just see how that works. Or I might actually, nah, you know what? The Berlin's more of a tint. So I don't want to do that too much yet. Let's try the moss green and see if this is what I like. Okay, so this color is a near black. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to, I can overpower really quick. So this is where the kind of detail comes in. So we'll start doing kind of going back over the line work and not doing too much line work. But let me see, yeah, I kind of like that color. I'm going to add just a touch just to see what it does. I'm going to add just a little bit of the Viridian green to it. Just to kind of change the tone a little bit. Brian Keller, what's going on? Yes. I already said that. Sorry. I just saw you. Good evening. So just to give it a little bit more. Yeah, I kind of like that better. A little bit more green than mossy. So let's stay there. Yeah. And then I can use the moss to kind of cut it even darker. And I might add some black to the moss. But see, this is nice as I can start running the teeth a little bit. Start doing those gum areas. Give it a good shake here. Cool. So this is where I can really start shading. Doing some details. Yeah, I like this color a lot more. Doing a little work around those lips. Because as I tint this, then I can bring in those yellows and greens later and really pop things forward. Like really pop in the details. And then if I got to go really dark, that's when you can add some black to one of these colors and just carve your darkest darks. But I don't want to do that until near the very end. And again, this is kind of cartoony, so I can afford to have some line work in here. We'll tone it out. This is tongue. But by setting up that foundational color, that's allowed me to now, because I worked in that mid-tone, now I can carve this detail in. And if I keep it soft enough, I can still keep toning. See, I can tone these teeth a little bit more. Kind of work out that line work so it's not super cartoony. You can add some little bit. Staring and studying is the way to do it, man. If you want to study a really good artist, he just passed away last week. Amazing artist. He was basically in the world of Warhammer, in the whole tabletop gaming verse, probably the one most iconic artists that really shaped an entire look of an industry. If you've never seen the work, or if you don't, even if you don't know anything about Warhammer or anything like that, look up the art of John Blanche. Joe, if you're here, type his last name. It's Blanch. Is it E or not? If you've never looked at John Blanche's work, you've probably seen it and go, "Oh, I know that." Um, Passing of a legend, modern day legend in the art world, which is very rare these days to have someone that's that iconic in our generation. So, if you want to see some cool art, really dark, I don't think it's too much to say that there's a term called the grim dark style, and he's pretty much the consummate creator of that. So, if you've never heard of him, take a look at his work. And it's a big loss to the community and the art in general. Yes, John. Yeah, Blanche. If you've never seen his work, it's just stunning. Stunning work. So much mood and feeling. Definitely look it up. Yeah, this is one when it's cleared, it's gonna really pop. This is one, and thinking back, and someone mentioned Lumalore earlier. I should have done this on a Lumalore panel that lit up. That would have been really freaking cool to do. Um, Probably still what's going on because we can light it would have been really cool. But yeah, this is really starting to pop. And then once we mix the other colors in, it'll really come to life. And this can afford to be cartoony, because it's Slimer. So yeah, just kind of working it. And I'm just kind of trying to balance this point. I'm not trying to like over detail one area more than the other. Doing some texture. I think the best way to his style is a grimdark style. Um, Honestly, I would put it in science fiction fantasy. I would not put it cartoonist magazine art. Realistically, I would put it in a grimdark science fiction fantasy era is where I would put it, because it definitely is. It's definitely in that far future fantasy with, I would put his style realistically and his influence on a genre as high up as Frazetta, um, um, and Boris and Brom and people of that sort. Yeah, you could put him in, graphic novel realism. Yeah, I would say in that, same with Frazetta. Frazetta basically rewrote the science fiction fantasy cover art of a generation. And I think what Frazetta did for Conan and art like that in that whole book cover art, I would say, Branch did that for the 40K Warhammer science fiction, like, you know, world of gaming, and that whole thing. So yeah, I would put him up there with that. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's kind of where I would put him. Definitely sci-fi graphic art, and fantasy. I wouldn't even say fantasy realism, but it's fantasy. Just the term grim dark, which is a term that's used in the 40K verse and a lot of other, realistically, I would think, I think he is the tip of the spear when it comes to that. Yeah, Boris. Yeah. So, you put Boris and Frazetta in that pyramid. Then you put modern guys like Luis Royo and Brom and Pratchett and Plug and people like that. Yeah, bland. Yeah, 80s metal inspired sci-fi. Yeah, I would definitely say that. Yeah, yeah. So, um, and the term magazine art kind of does fit to a degree, but again, it's because that artwork was in like so much stuff like that. So, yeah. Yes, current bid is still 2 hundo. Okay, all right. Let's get some face detail here. Steve Gibson's amazing modern airbrush artist like us, designer. You know, None of us are in that league as like. And I love Steve's work. Steve's work is amazing. His realism is amazing. His ability to paint. His head is amazing. But guys like Frazetta and Boris and created a genre, and Blanche really just and shaped it. In our industry, LaValle was one of the biggest shapers of a movement and a genre, for sure. Charlotte, we can't do $3.50. Oh, Steve's great, super great guy. My hell yeah, my vent cap keeps plugging. It's the only problem when it's this humid up here. And I don't want to turn the fan on. Yep, Kiwi Terry, another amazing artist. Come on, can I get? I do not. I might actually have to turn the AC on. Let me know if the sound bothers you guys. I'm gonna turn my air conditioner on up here. We're at summertime again. For those of you who don't know, this is the third floor studio of a big old Victorian house with no air conditioning, no central air. So we have window air conditioners. So we have to do with what we got. So I don't know if this is going to be too loud or not. So let me know if the noise gets to be a problem. Would you ever? I actually have. So, and I've done that with a lot of my brushes. I don't have any up here. I've actually drilled them out and chamfered them, which is kind of where they got the idea. Because I remember talking with them during the Takumi development prior. When you look at, do I have the cups here? The cup, the new Takumi cup. When you look at the cap's got a much bigger hole that actually bevels in and chamfers. So yes, I do that, and I should do that because it does help, especially if you're in a really humid, muggy environment using. It doesn't matter water-based solvent, but once you get it, you see the flow is just so much nicer. You need to turn on the attic vent. Yeah, the vents get really loud when I turn that, and then it's going to suck the AC out. So the AC is on right now. I don't think that's too much of a bothersome. It was worse when I had the boom mic, but now that I use the mic on my chest, I don't think it's as bad. So you let me know. Don't use the word you can't draw, because that is not true. You don't draw. That's the difference. That's what I forget who I heard that from, but everyone says, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. No. It's that you don't do that. You don't draw, so you can't draw. But if you draw repetitively, then you could. So it is a learned, there is some talent involved in, obviously, or just you're predisposed to being good at it, so to speak. But anyone can learn how to draw and design. You just have to put the time in it. You got to put those 10,000 hours, man. That's just kind of what it is. Tone this down. Really get that green. Let's see. I'm going to show you from a different angle. Like, that's what it really looks like in these. My top cameras, it's tough to get this pop, whereas this actually shows it a little bit better. But that's kind of the pop we're really looking at here. When I switch to these, it doesn't show it like I wanted to show it because I got to turn. If I turn vivid on, it could do it. That's kind of the only. I have manual on. Trying to see. So if I change, that's black and white. That's scenic. Standard. Yeah, vivid. That's actually kind of more or less where it is, actually. Let me try that on both cameras. Sorry. Yeah, that's actually better. Tracing is a great way to learn, man. Tracing is really a great way to learn because you start to learn the shapes and the way things get put together. And the more you do it, the more you train your brain to see things. Bobby, it's totally fine. I trace stuff all the time. You know, and then the more you trace, you start putting your own spin on it, or you can trace but not follow everything. You can kind of work the design out and kind of make changes and tweaks based on something. So yeah, don't sell yourself short. It is a practice thing. Like I really have no rhythm. But I'm sure if I practiced enough, I could learn enough to be able to do something basic. Yeah, no, but that's it. But Rob, yeah, 50% of the job is tracing like the outlines of the shape, but your word you kind of have to. No one's gonna like you can, but you got to put the markings down so the client feels comfortable with what it's getting. But the tracing goes out the window once the base structure is there. All the shading and stuff, and the stuff you guys do is tattooing, which is I want to get one of those ink pen tattoo machines where I can just kind of practice the feel. I don't want to tattoo people, but I want to try that style of doing the dot shading. You know, so I'd love to mess with that. But that's when I look at tattoo artists, that's what I'm looking at. Like people's ability to pull off the shading, because I can pull off shading like this, like whoop, and that's shaded. To do that soft blend when I see a tattoo artist do it is a true mastery of art for me when I see that. Yeah, the vivid. I usually don't keep vivid on, but because these colors so pop, the vivid is much better. The drummer, yeah, he's amazing. On YouTube, talks about putting the practice in works. Yeah, man, no, it is. It is. Like, I got good at airbrushing because I did that practice when I was a kid, and I sat in my room and just painted. My parents let me literally put a t-shirt airbrush station, and I took apart my closet, and I put a mall-style t-shirt setup in my bedroom. And I airbrush t-shirts and murals and paintings every day, hours a day. I don't care what you're good at, it's the time you got to put in. I know people that are great at video games, they put the time in. I've been learning the whole tabletop painting stuff for the past couple years, and getting better and better at it. And it's the same thing, you got to put the time in. Like you watch Joe paint, if you ever watch Joe, feel free to put your Discord up and your YouTube. When you watch Joe paint figures and his understanding of color theory, and that doesn't come. Some of it comes from study, but study only gets you so far. It comes from practice and doing it. Like I was really bad at anatomy, and I spent the better part of a year using the Riven Phoenix Alien Think program, which is used to be a drawing site. I think he's still around doing it. It was over 80 hours of instruction on anatomy that literally started from stick figure and went all the way to like every muscle structure. Yeah, talent. No, well, it doesn't mean less practice time. Um, you might you might catch on to certain tricks faster and techniques, and you might understand things better because you're predisposed to it. But it can also give you some false stuff, like you can think you're so talented and you're so good that you can't see the mistakes you're making either. And you can trust me, I'd rather teach someone usually that doesn't have any predisposed than someone who's been doing it for 20 years that says, "Oh, I know I know the talent. I just want to learn your technique." They're actually harder to teach because they got so much like, you know, sometimes they just have bad habits mixed in there. Uh, I picked up my copy. Oh, did you? Did you do a printout of it? Nice. Yeah, no talent. You know, talent is not overrated because people have talent, natural talent. The I can't do it because I don't have talent. That excuse is an overused and overrated excuse because you can, like I said, you can. You just don't. So I try not to say, "Oh, I can't do that." Like, I can't learn a language. No, because I've never sat down and practiced enough to actually get good at it. Crit is great. You know what's another good one? If you have an iPad, just use Procreate. But Crit is really good as well. Another one I've been learning it because it works great for Vector too. Is Affinity Designer. It's basically like a free Photoshop, but it also does Illustrator vector work. And it's really great. I mean, I used it in Germany to actually teach a demonstration, and I had never used a program, and I was on a German computer with German keyboard, and I was still able to figure out the program and use it. It was so intuitive because I already had a baseline. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, Crit is good. Another one of my favorite sketch programs, and it works on both. It works on either iPad or any other tablet or computer or anything. Is Sketchbook Pro. Sketchbook Pro is awesome. Still need to learn my silhouette machine. Yeah, and it's really difficult to go from drawing digital drawing programs to digital vector programs because they're two different worlds. And that is the one I need to get that class up and running for everyone. But if I do those classes, I think they got to be either another weeknight or they got to be a Saturday class for like a few hours in the afternoon. Yeah, Sketchbook. Honestly, Sketchbook Pro was the first one I learned on. It was by Autodesk. Aside from like Photoshop, I learned on that. And then I used Corel Painter. Was another one that was better for painting. Another good one. What's it called? It used to be Manga Studio. I forget what they call it now. If anyone can remember, Manga Studio was awesome, and now they call it something else. And I have it. I don't use. My daughter uses it. What is it? Shoot. So yes, I'm so used to Cricut. I have to spend more time on the Cameo. Yeah, just remember the software. Just break it down to the simple tools. How to use the pen tool and reshape designs. Can I effectively use a drawing program on the laptop? Yeah, I should be able to. Just you need a tablet to plug into it. So you can use like a graphic tablet where you draw here, and it shows up on screen over here. That's a drawing tablet. Or you have to get a laptop that you can draw direct on screen. Like there's a few out there. Like I don't use it very often because it's old and outdated for me. But like a Windows Microsoft Surface Pro is a great machine. Comes with a decent pen. You can get a Wacom One, which plugs into a laptop, which is a drawing screen. X Pen, I would definitely look at X Pen, XPEN. They have great tablet technology. I use that in Germany. And I think I'm going to replace my Huion with it in the near future. So see, I'm just really darkening everything up. I got to get under this hand. Okay, let's do this. If you guys have trouble freehanding and you really want to punch this hand to the foreground, like foreshortening like we were talking about earlier, let's grab this. Almost fell. I have the X Pen. I like it better. Yeah, so I went from Wacom to Huion, and then when I was in Germany, I had the pleasure of using the newest X Pen, and it was amazing. And I'm gonna be getting it. I'm gonna be getting one eventually. I'm trying to see if I could get a demo model to try out, maybe on the channel. Maybe I'll talk to them this week and see if that's possible. And kind of run it through its paces here is what I'd like to do. I don't know their pricing off the top of my head. Not expensive as Wacom. Like I know, like my Huion, my big Huion was only $1,000, and you can get the smaller ones for like $400 or $500. Bobby, what was the price on your X Pen range? So see, I'm just cutting this. I cut this paper so I can do the shading like this. I can pop that out. See, now that just pops that out right there. Oh, so you have the X Pen Draw Pad, which is the pad that you draw on the pad, and then it shows up on screen. And they also make new monitors or screens that you plug into your laptop or computer that you draw on screen like an iPad. Warlock, have a good one, man. What's the panel? Oh, this one? Clip Studio Paint. Yes, Clip Studio is what Manga Studio used to be called. Thank you, Gary. This is a 12 by 18 inch panel. It's usually about the biggest I do on the channel. And I've done some bigger, but it fits the frame nice. So once I get this stage done, then I start going in for all the bright stuff and really making everything pop. And I don't think I'll check back. I just lost my. Sorry about that. Just lost my connection. Hold on for my teleprompter. There we go. Yeah, I usually do 12 by 18, 11 by 17. I got some smaller sizes I do, but the main reason is when I use this easel, anything bigger than 18 inches is going to, see, it fits between the screws. Anything bigger, 19, and then it gets, probably more expensive to ship. Yeah, Gary should definitely know. But like, yeah, once you get by, like, to ship a 12 by 18, I use a 14 by 20 box by one. You start going bigger, the box gets bigger, and the shipping just scales up really big at that point. Oh, yep. The paints I used is right here. This is everything I used so far. The only thing I added to it was, and I added this color. So the color I'm using now is actually the moss green with this additional, I put like maybe 5% of detailed Viridian in there. It's the only color I added since last week. Oh, nice. Artist Feedback's great. I took a tour of their plant a couple weeks ago in Germany while I was over there teaching. It was great to actually see the manufacturing process, the people that are making them, the guy who actually does all the test spray outs. I was hoping he'd let me get down and do a test spray out because I thought it would have been cool. Like, if I could have done a couple of test spray outs and then put them in the box and, see who got them. It would have been really cool. Dude, I can't change the font for you. Get a bigger TV. Pause it and use a magnifying glass. Seriously. You know how long it takes to set this graphic up, man? It takes me like an hour to get all the thumbnails and put it together. And if you go back in the video, I name each color. No one's ever happy. I'm kidding. I'm just being a bitch. I got some texture in here. I'm just kind of going around adding some little line work. Get some like brain matter texture. We'll play with that a little bit. Cool. See how everything's starting to pop now? Getting almost everything where I want it. Because from here, now I can, this is kind of pushing back down, and then I can start bringing some like bright pop details in towards the end. I just yeah, no, I get it. There's only so much I can do with my timing. But yeah, I should have done like the bright white letters on the bottom, but it gets kind of messed up. It depends what camera angle I'm on. Like if I go and fade to black, look, no. Oh no, you can't see that if I fade to black. Duh. So you go here. You can read the bottom a little easier. But yeah, so it's opaque jet black, it's opaque white, opaque limelight green, opaque Hansi yellow, opaque dioxazine purple, illustration Berlin frog juice, illustration moss green, and illustration magenta. But I also got to be able to fit them across the bottom of this screen. It's not the font size, it's how you move your mouse. Darken under here to get that. I darken here, this finger pops up more. That's what she said, Robert. Oh, we got a bid. Oh, we got Gary on the board. At 225. Or I can just not spend the time doing descriptions of paint. Yeah, you left yourself open for that one, buddy. I leaned in 6 inches and I'm still squinting. Uh-huh. Captain's the man. He's awesome. He's fucking crazy. He eats everything. Like outside. Like there was acorns and rocks and ugh, he's getting a little better, but then he got into the what's it called? The compost pile. Started eating like rotten broccoli. That was amazing to clean out of his beard. Little trash compactor. I'm not even going there. Just darkening these fingers in so I can get them to pop. Blah 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 blah. They may. Oh no, we did that once, man. I thought he ate a massive acorn, and I couldn't tell if he spit it up or not. And yeah, that was when he was like really young, like 4 months, 5 months old or so. We had to take him to the vet for that. And, yep. He's just not smart. Damn cute though. We were hoping he was going to be smarter than Willow, but I think he's dumber than Willow, and that's saying something. Because Willow, we've always joked, Willow, it's a good thing you're pretty because there's nothing behind them eyes. Thomas Thompson, it's happening. Oops. Hold on. God damn it. Sorry. The chat window is acting up again. Trying to see everyone. Willow would do that. Yeah, that's a Willow thing. I think we got that solved. But wintertime is the worst for that because they're poopsicles. I know that's gross to think about, isn't it? Sorry. Alright, I think I'm kind of happy with this overall tone. My dog eats trash. Drives me crazy. Yeah. Okay, so now back to that yellow. I want to get these eyes a little brighter. I want to put the magenta in these eyes to get that orange. No, I still need to detail the nose up. You know, let me. I'm going to go straight Viridian Green for a second. She's a pit. Oh yeah, my Willow's a part pit. Very familiar with the house hippo. Okay, so now the straight Viridian green will give me kind of a more of a bluish pop. I'll get that down in here. The house hippo, yeah. I love that. Those memes with the house hippo. Because it's what they are. And they do it like the David Atwood voice. This episode of the house hippo. Very good. Alright, you know what I am going to do? This is where when you paint, you do it. Yeah. The nice thing about doing this is I can step away just by looking. I have a monitor above me that shows me what you're seeing. So I can actually see from a distance. Okay, I added a few drops of black because I want to get some pop under here. So I added a few drops of black. I could have added a little bit of blue too. Just so I could pop that. Let me try from a different angle. Oops. Sorry about that. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't really show any better from that angle. If you were using candies, would Slimer look more transparent? No, it'd be the same. You can't make him transparent unless I'm hiding stuff behind the background. So he's just as transparent. The colors I'm using are just as close to a candy. So if you want to make it feel transparent, you'd have to have something in the background to show through. So if I had like images, so if I had like a city in the background or something, and you could slightly see through the city, that would make them transparent. But like, oh, what I'm going to do here with these fingers is I'm going to carve the kind of the background more to separate the digits between. And I got to brighten some stuff up. The one thing y'all got to take into consideration when I'm doing these, I might do this in 4 hours. If I was doing an actual like painting for a client, I'd probably have about 8 to 12 hours into this painting instead of 4 to 5. So to be a lot more like attention to other details and things like that. Little micro details. Now a little bit here, a little bit here. Some of these darks. Just not overusing this yet because I still got the brights to bring in. It's also really hard to see for you guys what I'm seeing exactly because the color tones do look a little different. It's hard to capture everything on camera. Yeah, I mean, everyone tends to overshadow, especially the early days. That's why I find if you work with colors and maybe add a drop or two of black as you go and kind of build, you can see it happening a little bit more easy. And you can pull it back because you don't go too far too fast. The problem, if you get the black too strong at the beginning, like if you look, this color is going down like black. It's still that color. It's just a little darker. Yeah, no, it definitely makes that pop, that purple. I think there's been a few people here that have been in my classes. Well, me and Joe actually teach together, so we've been in each other's classes. Me and Steve used to teach together. Actually, Steve did take my class. Not that I taught him anything. Yep, yep. Yeah, I remember. Robert was the little guy in the back. The good old days of the Coast Rendezvous. All right, so we need to start bringing in the pop. All right, let's make those eyes pop a little bit. Oh, the temp came down. We're at 79.5. Does feel a little better in here, actually, anyway. All right, so we're going to take that magenta I mixed up. I'm going to over-reduce it. Robert, were you there when we had the... we nicknamed him. We nicknamed him Meth Addict Andy Dick because he looked like the comedian actress Andy Dick. He tried stealing, like mid class. He was stealing my stencils. Were you in that class? That was funny. Add a little magenta to these eyes and get them a little orangey. Dan Mayer, what's going on? And we've had some other students in class, Robert, I'm sure you were there, that just don't shut up. Not sure. The guy in the front of me was having a nervous breakdown because he couldn't hold a perfect dagger stroke in 5 minutes. Huh. Yeah, it was some of them. I had this one, she was like a princess that wanted everything instantaneous and then couldn't get it and started saying, well, if your skulls were perfect proportions, I'd have an easier time. And if there's this and that, it'd be an easier time. And this and that. It was always something. I was just like, okay, yeah, yep, yep. Just Robert, my outlook a lot of times on that is the Penguins of Madagascar, the movie. Just smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave. Questions the whole time isn't a problem. It's not shutting up when there's people that are the problem. Like that always have the ones that always have a different. But I do it like this, and I did it like this, and I find it's easier to do it this way. And what about this? Have you ever tried it like this? It's like, dude, yeah, I'm doing it this way because I like this way, and I know how to teach it this way, so people can learn it this way. There's always something. Yeah, the highlights will definitely start bringing it to life, which I'm going to start trying to pop these in now. Let's see. Oops, that's too thin. Too thin. Oh, yeah, yeah. But man, I've taught hundreds of classes over the years, and yeah, I got some good stories. But I will honestly say, majority of the people that come to the classes are great. I love teaching it, or I wouldn't keep doing it. Yeah, so here we go. Now we'll start kind of give the slimy little slimy look to it. Need this to be a little stronger. Come on. Yeah, no, the rendezvous are great. They just did one. We got some new ones planned. I think we're going to try to do one this summer. Yeah, I think I got to go more yellow. Yeah, we're heating back up in here again. Okay, let me try. Yellow in the eye. There we go. Get these teeth to pop a little bit more. Remember, you can pop it a lot brighter because I can always tone it back. Yeah, the teeth start to pop. And we do some drool. Yeah, this is where it all comes together. And my airline's stuck into my chair. So I'm just doing more back to like core highlights, making some areas pop. Yeah, no, you could put some fluorescent yellow in this for sure, some fluorescent green overlays, but I wouldn't do that to the end because that doesn't really, it won't show up on this unless you have something to kind of guide it. So if I had like a bright white, then I could put some fluorescent on top. So if I wanted this to like pop out more, I'd put bright white and then fluorescent on top of it. I don't have fluorescent mixed up. Um, and I thought about doing that, kind of doing like a black light effect. But there's only so many hours I can paint for. And there's only so many hours you guys are going to watch it. Unfortunately. So let's get him bright. I might actually get some white. Maybe I will just get some splattery effects going on in here. And I actually am going to do some white because I'm going to put some smoke in it and tint over it. So I'm getting a little close to that because I'm starting to get to where I like it. Yeah, if I do in 3 installments, the 3 videos, I get less viewership on it. Even doing 2 sometimes is hard for people to tune in. And it's really just about, I could do it after and edit it down to like a more edited video, but I have such a hard time getting time to edit. We're at 9:30. I want to try to wrap this up. Or unless I do like finish this off and then, nah. Thinking I could come back in and do like a fluorescent effect overlay. Yeah, honestly, the only reason I do it this late on my end is so you guys can see it on the West Coast, not during your workday. Because I start at 8 o'clock at night. Alright, so let's do that. We'll make that belly glow a little bit more. We can loosen things up. Joe Walker, man, welcome. Alright, so I'm going to add some white to this and make some brighter areas. See the white. Now we can add some more white drool. Some more reflection on the teeth. Yeah. A little dot in the eyes. And then we can take the matchmaker. Maybe we'll do some more. A little smokiness. Some free roaming vapor smoke. Oh yeah, I've always been a fan of that as well. Some smokiness. Keeping it light, keeping it loose. Having some fun with it. Not taking it too serious. Yeah, just, just a little bit of smoke does a lot. And this isn't even white yet. This is still like a yellow because I just keep adding a little white to it. Brian Keller, is it a 250 bid? Thank you, Brian. I haven't been doing this. I've been slacking. 250. Back to Gary. 275. I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna get the paint marker out and do a cool dripping border. Let's get some white here. Yeah, so that white, that pops it out nice. Maybe we'll get some fluorescent in here right after this. I'll grab some. Maybe. Because what I'll do, this white is going to be really bright right now, but don't worry. I'll tone that with some of the maybe fluorescent green. I'm going to tone that back. Come on. It's when I want to work. It's not working. Ah, man, my hand's cramping. Sorry. You know what I need? Juice. There we go. I have a question for you. It's not about this, if you don't mind, Star. As long as it's related to some way. Yeah, I'm not getting into that stuff right now, man. Sorry. That's way off topic for my brain. Hey, Ray Shea, you here? Vultures, you're going to cover it with white. No, so I'm just bringing this white to bring up the value, and then I can tone this with some of that fluorescent to green it out more, and that's going to make it like pop. So like the brightest brights. Yep, I think you do. I knew what you meant. Just getting some of that glow. Now I'm going to take this. We can do a little glow there. Ray, she got her mom pants on. Thank you. Okay, so we got here. Do here. All right, let's see. Just like that. Poof. Sorry, yeah, that was getting odd. I think. All right, let's take. So let's see. Adding to the mix, fluorescent green. Let's see how that works. I'm gonna try to run it straight. Give the smoke a little pop. What are we drinking, Robert? Well, that purple's in there from the other day. That's not supposed to be there. All right. Fluorescent pop. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now I can see that pop. Maybe we'll get the green smoke. You know what's funny? If I put a... I don't mind having the overspray glow, actually. Because under a black light, like Robert suggested, it'll get a halo effect. The glow, which will look damn cool. I don't have a black light. Good for you. Right now, maybe. Do I have? Ooh, purple fluorescent. Oh, green slime, man. Dripping. Nope, dripping green slime. I think. Yeah, yeah. Like I did on the alien one. I think will be fucking perfect. Like I want to drip the paint. Yes, Robert, I have paint on a black light. I had never done it live though, so maybe that's something to do in the future. just do a nice little... Oh, this purple fluorescent's kind of messed up. It's going to have just a little bit of purple fluorescent for effect, but that bottle is really old. Too acid right before it. That's where you need to get the 100-inch TV and sit within 6 inches and squint. Well, that's the thing. When you work on the Lumalure stuff, you got to do a lot under like a black light so you can actually see the glow effect. So it's really kind of a cool way to work. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking. Whoa. Oh, that's going to happen. I'm just letting it happen, man. I'm going to have to tint over it, but we're going to go with it. Right? Right. No mistakes, just happy accidents. Right, Bob? Right, Bob Ross? Psychedelic Saturday night. Oh, that could be fun. All right, so then let's take that fluorescent green. Gotta make sure it's dry though. That big drip is gonna take a little bit. We're gonna air it out. I'm gonna tint over it. I like it. I like it. Now let's get some frog juice in here. Oh, I bet. That UV ink stuff days? Yeah, I remember when that was getting big. That's looking really bright in person. Let's check the other angle, shall we? Yeah. All right, let's pull the tape. Let's pull the tape and see what we got here. Yeah, that just makes it. really fun. Still waiting for everyone. Still waiting for everyone that got it to into some kind of weird. I don't know what you're trying to say, Rob. Yeah, that adds to it. Clear, it's going to look awesome. This is definitely going to high gloss clear. Without a doubt. Okay, so now I'm going to have the fingers glowing outside the border. Oh, I bet. Yeah. Oh, the Heath, these are Posca markers. You can order them online. I used to get them in art supply stores. These work awesome because they're acrylic water based and you can clear over them no problem. These were really big back in the day for like surfboard artists, skateboard artists love these because they're so opaque. You know, right over black, they just show up really, really well. You know, so I can put some highlights in those. So it's really, works really good. So the high bid, I believe, I'm not correct, is still Gary at $275. I'm going to say that's going once. We'll still put in a couple little extra doodads afterwards, I think. So I got to see what this is going to look like clearing. Heath, no problem, man. Yeah, no, the Poscas are great. I love them. You know, just to really show you, and I'm not paid by them. I'd love to be sponsored by them, actually. Don't know where to just put it. Sharpie has some new ones out, and they actually work pretty well. The Poscas, I think, are stronger. But when you look at these, like, this would be a little extra for Gary, a little skull. You see how, like, strong they are. You know, they're really, really good. Stay puff. No, have to wait for a while. Can't do Ghostbusters all the time. I did a Zool a couple years ago, actually. Now I think when this is cleared, it'll get a really huge pop. I might want to add a little bit more purple. Kind of want to purple that up a little bit more, but I'm going to clear it and see where it goes from there. Yeah, thanks, Robert. It's all about contrast. Yeah, dude, Heath, they come in really handy. Like, I use them a lot. And they make brush tip, fine point tip, those tip. They're really, really good. And they hold up UV under clear for just as long as automotive paint will. And even longer. So, even by themselves, they hold up. They're really, really good. So I definitely recommend them. I don't know, guys. I think that's it. I mean, I could do more. It's your horror period. I should do a Hellraiser at some point. Let's want to thank everyone who chimed in and super chatted and donated, all my members. Let's give a big shout out to all our members again. Thank you, all my Down and Dirty Tricksters, for the support. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And here was the reference sketch if you need it. Do I have the full size? That's a small one. I thought I had the... No. I thought I had a big one, but I guess I don't. Last video, I have a big superimposed. Oh, yeah, the classic. Yeah, horror ones would be cool. But, yeah. Well, that's it, guys. That is the Slimer project wrapped up. It was fun. You know, I would say that's 95% freehand. I used a little shield for the smoke. I used a little bit of this paper cut for the hand and some background glow. But other than that, it's just an exercise in freehand fun. Keeping it loose, keeping it poppy. You know, no stress. Don't be afraid of some flood strokes and some just, you know, let some stuff happen. Like I did not plan on that, and it just works out cool. When it dries, I think I'm going to add a little bit more darker shade, but it's still a little tacky, so I don't want to like blow it out or have any issues with it. But I think, let me see, is it dry enough now? No, that's still that color. Just trying to see what I got for color. Yeah, so I can take the frog juice now. I can tint this stuff a little bit more. See? Give it a little bit more slime. And then maybe go back in and do some highlighting. Kind of make it look a little bit more gooey. Yeah, doesn't really show much, but I can see it here. You know what I found works great? Those, yeah, but I use the 3M, the it's like Velcro on both sides that lock in together. I get the heavy strength ones. Those are great. You can just keep popping along, man. I think that's gonna be it. So I hope you dug the feed. I think it was fun. It was a cool project. And that's the old Slimer in all his glory. Is it all dry? Nah, see, that's still wet. I was gonna do a shine, but if I shine it up, that's gonna smear, and that's gonna smear. That's gonna mess it up. I do think I may afterwards. I want to get a little bit more purple glow in here, but I might do it after I clear. But yeah, that's about the only thing I think I would do is I would add more purple up into here. I can do a little, yeah, during another airbrush, but what the heck. Can use a little magenta. I come up here. I really want a little bit more magenta up in here. Yeah, I need more white to really show it. Yeah, that worked a little bit. Yeah, see, I just want to get that to tone back out. Yeah, just see that little bit. That little bit of extra purple helps. There we go. There we go. That's cool. I'm happy with it. Fun feed. Hope you liked it. Let me show you the wide shot. Actually, whoa. It picks up the fluorescent on the GoPro. A little bit more. This is the way the lighting, the camera works on that. Yeah, that's cool. Time to put the command central away for the evening. That all swings out of the way for cleanup. If you're ever in Australia, would love to do any classes. Heath, we've talked about it. We were supposed to do one years ago, and COVID happened. I'd love to do it. I know I talked with Carson at Airbrush Asylum about doing something years ago. It would be nice to revisit that idea. I would love to come out. Hopefully, maybe one day we can make it happen. Would be really cool. Oops, wrong button again. Hey guys, thank you very much. I hope you guys have a great weekend coming up. See you guys next week. I think I'll be on next week. Keep an eye on the socials, and I'll let you know. And we'll come up with some ideas for some projects. Feel free to put them in the text thread. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment what you like, some ideas. That helps the channel. Anything helps the channel. We got to get this thing growing. I want to hit 15,000. I'm at 14.2 right now. Got to get 15 soon, and then eventually to that 100. But I'm gonna chase that a little bit. And I'm not buying followers like some other channels have done. I want to get them naturally, so we will keep working at it and going from there. So I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Talk to you guys later. See ya.